Have you ever given it your all and still failed? Well, I have, but I have a plan going forward and I'll share that at the end as well. So, we spent the past 2 years posting YouTube videos about travel, just to watch many of our peers pass us by. And it wasn't for lack of trying, we tried. I mean, every single week since we began, we posted a YouTube video, sometimes even 2. We had this one crazy idea in the month of November of 2021 to do this thing we called Non-Stop November, in which we daily vlogged every single day in the month of November. And it didn't really help us at all. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't increase our number of subscribers anywhere near what we wanted, right? I mean, and the views per video were also very low. The worst part is, even though we put in all the effort, all that energy, the biggest outcome was the fact that I just felt really fatigued and tired, and it definitely took a toll on my body, and I felt run down and basically felt sick from putting all that effort into filming every day and editing every day and posting every day. And then the cherry on top when you see the results from the videos and they're not what you want. So we definitely tried. Here's what we learned in the past 2 years. When it comes to travel vlogging, there's this idea that we like to call YouTube countries, which means there's only a small set of countries in which you can go to, make videos about, and then your channel blows up, your business explodes, all good things happen to you. Unfortunately, we've really been able to accept the fact that people really only care about their own country that they're in, right? So if we make a video about, Poland per se, that did really well for us, but then we moved to India and those folks aren't interested in it, which is fair. Unfortunately, most people don't care about any country besides the one that they live in. And that's really discouraging because we thought as we were traveling, we'd pick up different people from different countries and they stick with us. But people see our channel, they subscribe, and then they unsubscribe as you leave their country, or worse yet, they stick subscribed, but then they never watch any of your videos, which kills your click-through rate because YouTube wants to, show your videos to your subscribers, which makes sense. But if your subscribers have no interest in your content, but they're still subscribed to your channel, it basically just kills everything and you have terribly low click-through rate, and you really never have a chance to grow, because if your own subscribers aren't watching your videos, why would YouTube show it to the masses, to more people? So that's the main issue with travel vlogging. All that to say, travel vlogging is a business model in which you lose your existing customers every couple of months, and then you have to start all over again and gain new customers. I mean, that is a business model that's just set up to fail. Going forward, I'd like to do something that I haven't been able to do yet. I like to create a community, and that starts with conversations. So if you failed at something, or if you feel like you failed at something recently, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to have a chat and maybe we can help each other through our feelings of failure. All of this has me thinking about what we have or really haven't accomplished in the 2 years since I left my full-time job. Recently, we're in Pune, India, where most of my former coworkers still live. And I was able to hang out with them and see them, and also visit the office in which my coworkers used to work. For 4 years before I left the United States, I worked with a company, and all of my coworkers, outside of a handful back in the United States, were located here in Pune. So it's kind of surreal to finally be here and to be in the city with people I've only met through video calls, on phone calls. They're actually here in real life, and to being able to see them face to face, it's something I never thought would happen. Because when I worked with the company, I kept asking, send us to India, send us to India. And they're like, oh no, they'll just send executives, right? So I guess I wasn't high enough on the pecking order to be sent over to India. But finally, on our own dime, we came here and we met some of my former coworkers, and they're even nicer than I possibly could have expected. But it is kind of hard not to think about everything that's happened in the past 2 years while being here in Pune, outside of basically the company that I used to work for, my last corporate job. Because when I left, I had big goals, I had big ambitions, and I just knew that when I left, if I applied myself, if I gave 110% and dedicated myself to chasing after my dream job, I'd be successful. I didn't know how long it would take, but I definitely felt I'd be more along than I am right now. So it's kind of a reminder, though the people here are incredibly nice and incredibly kind. It's been 2 years and we do have a following, and it's not like we don't have any viewers on a YouTube channel, but we're definitely not as far as we should be. and we definitely aren't making like money on a regular basis. Like even after 2 years of working really hard, as far as monetarily, this is still just a glorified hobby, and it's hard not to look at that as a failure. Speaking of kindness, I really just wanted to see where this physical building was located, but all the security were really nice. I was able to get up outside of the office where my coworkers used to work, and I was like, let me just see it from a distance or whatever. And they actually gave me a little bit of a tour. I got to see one of the conference rooms, and all that really took me back, like the whiteboard and where we used to write down all the ideas for all the different projects and applications we used to work on, the bat phone, as I would call it, where we'd make all of our conference calls. Like all these flashbacks and all these memories started flooding into my mind. And being locked in a conference room where I would spend most of my days. I would drive 30 to 45 minutes. I would always be like, why do I have to drive into an office to talk to people who don't even live in the same country? That was always very confusing. And being into a corporate environment, being into an office for the first time in 2 years, and it was nice to see the people and talk to the people I used to work with, but then like a feeling of dread kind of came in, like, hey, if you don't kick yourself in the butt and you don't figure this out, this is where you're gonna be. You're gonna be back here. And you're not just gonna be with the nice, friendly people. You're also gonna be with your coworkers who are not so best, like your managers who are not so best. And I do not want that. Like, it started off as just like a nice, nostalgic thing to see and to check out. And it kind of ended with motivation. You know, you're feeling a little down, you feel like you failed, and that might be true, but this can't be the end. I can't go back to that. I can't. So it actually turned out to be quite a good bit of motivation as I'm sitting here right now. After we got a nice little tour and we were back inside the office, back inside all of that, Kati asked me, so seeing all that, feeling those feelings again, do you regret quitting? And my answer would still be no. Like, we've seen so much in the past 2 years. I mean, we've seen 2 wonders of the world. We've been to 21 countries, and you know, all these incredible things have happened. We met even more incredible people. And even though I don't really have the success, I don't have the money to show for it, we still created all of these skills. We developed all these skills. Like, I learned how to talk on camera, even though sometimes people say I sound like I'm presenting. I don't know. I can't whisper on camera. This is the most real I can be right now, but I'm working on it. When we left America, I had never even used a Mac computer before. I was completely a PC guy. I learned how to use a Mac. I mean, that's a whole training course in itself. I learned how to edit, how to use Premiere Pro. I mean, Kati taught me everything she knows for sure. And then I studied and studied to gain additional skills. Like, I learned how to be on camera, how to edit, how to direct, how to figure out what I wanted on camera. Like, even if it's not for a YouTube channel, there's gotta be a purpose. There's gotta be a way, even if this doesn't ultimately work out, that I can use those skills. I don't feel like the past 2 years were lost at all. Even though I get really discouraged, really down, I'm really hard on myself, if I had to do it over again, I'd do the exact same. Getting back into a corporate environment, even if just for a few minutes, was all the motivation I needed to keep going. Even if I would classify the business aspect of our YouTube channel at this point to be a failure, I still can't give up. This is the job that I want. This is my dream job. And that's all the motivation I need to keep going. We just finished this barely 10-minute hike up to the side of this mountain for this incredible view. We're looking over the city that we're in. We're looking over this beautiful lake, which has this huge dam in it, which shows a lot of trust for the people down here, because if that dam breaks, everything's flooded. Anyway, as we were walking up here, 2 different sets of people told us that it was impossible to get here. One of the ladies even looked at us like we were completely crazy. She said, "Why don't you take a car up there?" And then we're like, "Oh, we don't have like money," because some of the taxi drivers might, charge us a little bit too much money. And she's like, "Well, money's not the problem." And I don't know. I feel like she just gave up too easy. I mean, I feel like a lot of people give up too easy. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a hike, but it wasn't this big major thing that was impossible. And now that we're up here, I don't even see like a road for any of the cars. I have no idea how she would expect a car to drive up to the side of this mountain where we are. And yes, we did go down 2 different paths that came to completely dead ends, but we didn't give up. even though everyone we came across told us that we weren't going to make it. And it kind of reminds me of our YouTube channel. Yes, we've had 2 different YouTube channels so far, but we didn't give up. Like they say, the third time is the charm. I just need to pivot and expand, because making videos about just the locations that we're visiting isn't good enough. It's not bringing you enough value. And aside from the handful of unicorns who have blown up in the travel sphere over the past couple of years, I think the majority of small travel YouTubers can relate to this story. So going forward, we're gonna peel back the curtain a little bit, and we're gonna talk about some of the issues and struggles that we've experienced over the past couple of years. We're gonna share with you some of the obstacles that we faced and kind of some of the tips and tricks that we use to overcome those. And like I said, we wanna build a community and we wanna have some real deep conversations with you guys. Let us know what videos you wanna see, what topics you'd like us to cover, or just simply say hello. We'll say hi back and maybe we'll have a deeper conversation than that. They say the only way to truly fail is to give up. Well, I'm not gonna give up. And if you're feeling like a failure right now, this is your sign to not give up either. Thank you so much for watching this video and listening to my rant on YouTube. My name is Will, and this is Witty Travels. What could possibly be next?